shoot me a text. Yeah, because they're just in the kitchen.
I'll give you like 30-second heads up.
Okay, yeah.
Cool.
But like 30 seconds and like 5, 10 minutes, right?
Yeah. Cool. Hello, everyone. My name is Bobby Hundreds. You're watching The Hundreds TV. And this is another episode, a live episode of Office Hours every Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on tv.thehundreds.com. I broadcast live here from my office, which is now looking a little bit different because I have a new office. I've moved offices within the office. I'm just one room over. So I've been busy setting up and temporarily sitting here in this space. You're seeing a lot of my familiar toys and artwork around, but I'll be able to give you a better tour of that in the coming weeks as we take the entire building down and start over. I don't know if many of you have been doing the same thing, but I feel like this is the opportunity to do some renovation and to do some housework. So I've been doing some major cleaning at home. It's one thing I've been doing to help keep my sanity throughout this whole thing. But yeah, I encourage you to do that too. If you have been just looking around your house lately going, why do we have this? Or this is from 2010 and why is this still relevant to anything or meaningful in my life? So Ben and I, we started looking around over the last couple of months, the building, just walking around and going, it's time for everything to come down. I'm going to start over. And so that's what we've been doing here. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Bobby Hundreds. I'm the co-founder of The Hundreds. The Hundreds, if I have to do an elevator pitch, is it's a lifestyle project, just like general view of it, but it is a clothing company. It is a storytelling project. It is the story of our lives, mine and everyone else who works here. And we use clothing as a medium to communicate, to tell our stories, our points of view, our opinions on things. T-shirts are probably the easiest way to open up that communication because these are really conversation pieces. Every T-shirt that we make has a really interesting story and inspiration behind it. So we start off with the T-shirts and then we do clothing. A lot of it's limited. We're also known for doing collaborations and drops. And in many ways, streetwear was ahead of that game, if not pioneered it in the way that it operates now, that drop system in fashion. And we've just been doing it a very long time. This is our 17th year in business. And this year, we started The Hundreds TV as just another way for us to stay in touch with you and in order for you to stay connected with each other in our community. It's been really important for us to center this brand spiritually around community. It's what it's really about. It's bringing people together, opening up those conversations, bridging new relationships and friendships. And it's been cool because over the years, we've been able to just build a really large following of friends out of it. And those people have also become friends amongst themselves. And we've seen a lot of people's careers flourish, having been inspired and informed by what we do here at The Hundreds. And a lot of people have gotten into streetwear because of what we've been able to do with The Hundreds. And so it's just been like a pretty rewarding journey. And the reason why I'm so sentimental about it all right now is I just had an hour and a half long interview with James Altucher, who is one of my favorite voices out there, intellectual voices. And I just did a segment on his podcast, which should be coming out soon. So we kind of just went through this, and that's just like a quick little sneak peek. So this is The Hundreds TV here on tv.thehundreds.com. As every week, I encourage you to look over to the side. There is a chat window for you to meet up with other people. Trade your socials in there, your personal socials. If you have a brand or a business or art project you're working on, drop it in there as well so that everyone can follow you, talk about what you're working on. If you need help, it's out there. You can also shop as you're watching. Right now in our online shop, we're pushing The Hundreds Fall 2020. We've done our first couple drops already. The last one was more atom bomb focused, and I don't know how much of it is left, but it's out there. This week, we have a really, really special drop, a really meaningful drop with Blondie Beach Records and The Hundreds. It is our first time collaborating. Blondie Beach is a record label based here in LA that's comprised in ownership by our friends Errol, Bryce, and Justin. Bryce and Justin actually work here at the Hundreds. Justin, as you know, is the host of Greatest Hits, and Bryce is in charge of all the marketing at the Hundreds. So this is really truly a family affair. It's very important to us, and we're really happy to work on it. I'm really proud of this one. This hat that I've been wearing throughout the summer is part of this collection with Blondie Beach. And everyone's been asking me, what is that hat you're always wearing? I want that new era. This is the Hundreds in Blondie Beach. As you can see here, it is dropping on Thursday with the rest of the collection, which means Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. At that time, also here on the Hundreds TV, I'll be going live with Blondie Beach. Errol, Bryce, and Justin will be with me live as the product is coming out. They'll be able to talk to you through it all. But yeah, this is your first look at the hat. And there's a bunch of other stuff that goes with it, tees and hoodies, and even a beach towel. So that's our drop for this week. I just wanted to cut to the chase and answer some questions that I know you had. Today we don't have special guests in the room, so I'm going to just go to some of the questions that have been coming in from online. Ethan asks, how do you think having your book out for a while has affected the way that people view you? I don't know. I don't know if it has necessarily affected my reputation in any sense. It's been able to been a pretty cool business card to get me in the door with some larger conversations. I think in a professional sense, like in the business world, some people will listen a little bit more intently to what you have to say, knowing that you've written a book against it, which doesn't really mean much at all. I've been writing my entire existence pretty much. Just the fact that I put on paper doesn't mean that my voice is anything more significant, but for whatever reason in this world, sometimes people think that you write a book, then it means that you have something important to say. In this case, sometimes it works out. So in that sense, it's been pretty cool, but overall, look, that book it's a manual for the Hundreds. It's a manual for our community. It's really meant for you, everyone at home who's watching this right now, and just to get you educated and aware of why we do what we do. I really appreciate that you out there are supporting and buying the clothes and buying into these drops. It's really great. But I also want you to know who it is you're supporting, why they do what they do in all areas of your life, of consumption, and we are no different. You don't have to agree with everything that we stand for, but I do want you to be aware of who we are as people before you come out and support us. So that's why I wrote the book. And I'm glad if you've read it, thank you so much. If you haven't read it, it's available right now. It's available at your local bookstore, indie bookstores. You can buy online from them. You can call them. You can visit their websites. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and it is actually available through thehundreds.com now as well, the hardcover and the paperback. Speaking of Barnes & Noble, tomorrow night, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I am going live on the Barnes & Noble Instagram, and I will be answering all your questions about my book. This is not a t-shirt, so tune into that. Zach asks, what has been the toughest hurdle to jump over with the brand? The toughest hurdle to jump over. Oh man, I think this answer may vary from day to day. One part of my job that's really difficult, that really doesn't have much to do with the brand, but more the inner workings of the business, is just being a good manager and a boss. I'm an artist first. I never really anticipated that one day I would be responsible in leading a company, a staff, and so that's something that I'm constantly working on and trying to be better at, but it just doesn't come naturally to me. What else has been really difficult in just navigating? I think just fluctuations in the marketplace and the economy. I talk about this in my book, but when you're small and you're first starting out, you believe that a lot of the success and the failures are attributed directly to you. And then you grow and you get older and have more experience and you realize that most of these things are out of your control. And it's about putting yourself in the right place at the right time and being aware of opportunities in front of you and knowing how to seize them, knowing how to respond and react quickly in business, especially in this year with the pandemic. Everything has been moving so violently and turbulently that every day the business changes, and there are some days that I'm just completely paralyzed and have no idea what to do because things are moving so fast. And other days I just have a clearer idea of what I'm doing. So trying to be forgiving with myself in terms of like this business, and reminding myself time and time again, it's okay to slow down, take a pause and a breather. We are in the middle of a pandemic. There is so much unpredictability. And so if you at home are working on your business or brand and just being met with some resistance or having kind of a slower period, remember what's happening out in the world. It is pretty insane. So don't blame yourself for any of it. Hollis asks if I've been watching anything good. I just started, what's the Michelle McNamara doc, dude? The Patton Oswalt. I'll be gone in the dark. I'll be gone in the dark. I'm on the second episode of it now. It's on HBO, and it is it's the story of the Golden State Killer, who was a serial killer starting in the 70s, was recently caught through the aid of 23andMe, which is weird. But it's actually the story of Michelle McNamara, who was the journalist or the writer that was investigating the case. And she got in super deep, and she actually ended up passing away. She died, and largely as a result of this case haunting her. And so it's a sad doc, but it's actually super interesting. For me, I think the most interesting part is just remembering that I grew up in a time where serial killers were a thing, really like the boogeymen in our existences and everyday lives. And we worry about different things today. We have school shootings, we have police killings, we have systemic racism, which has always existed in this country. And then the coronavirus, the COVID, we have Trump, we have a bunch of existential crises. And when I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s, serial killers were a real thing. And so we would sleep really afraid at night, and there was Jeffrey Dahmer and, just different crazy men out on the loose. And so that's the part that's most interesting to me about the show, even though a lot of it is really disturbing to watch. And I actually kind of have to mute it sometimes just because I can't take some of the horrific stories, some of the things that happened to the women that were attacked by the Golden State Killer. But that show's really good. I tend to watch a lot of those real life murder docs, and especially the podcasts. I watched a lot of Korean drama for the first time this year. I never was into it before. There's a show called Itaewon Class that I've talked about a number of times in 2020. I'd suggest that one. But cool. I think we can invite in our special guests now, if they are around. But in the meantime, Duke, did any other questions come in? No new questions. If anyone has a question, you can drop it into the chat. I'll try to answer. Shayer asks, has shipping been a lot slower recently to the virus? Yes, there have been some periods where shipping has been backed up, and that's obviously COVID related. We try to send everything out within 3 days of the ordering, but I think we have a 10 business day window to send it to you. So almost every single time we get it to you within that period. I don't think we've ever really missed that mark. But if you do have an issue with customer service, and I know that's becoming more of a thing just because of COVID, because we want to keep everyone distanced and safe in the warehouse, you can always contact our customer service email. I have a special guest, actually 3 of them today. Hello. Here they are.
Bobby Hundreds, what's going on, man?
We have, how do I do this?
Office hours, right?
This is office hours.
So I'm always on that side of the camera
now we have you in front. This is Justin Esposito, everybody.
What's going on, everybody? Justin, Free J Boozy here with Blondie Beach Records.
Free J Boozy with Blondie Beach Records. We got Errol back here in the white.
I'm Errol. Hello.
We got Big Bryce back here. There he is.
You see, Bryce is quite a little mood on him right now. He's feeling it.
It's Blondie Beach week at the Hundreds. These are the men behind Blondie Beach. We have a really cool collaboration. It's dropping Thursdays, aka Wednesday night. Is there anything you guys want? I'm going to be interviewing them at length on Wednesday night for dropping in my other show. But for right now, we can do like a quick. Is there anything you just want to throw out there about the project?
Well, for starters, welcome to Blondie Beach. Enjoy your stay. Always use a lifeguard. It's gonna get crazy.
Monday night, so tonight, it's actually Blondie Beach all week on the Hundreds TV. Tonight at 9 p.m., Blondie Beach is doing a power hour, live DJ set, 9 p.m. right here on tv.thehundreds.com. turn it on, the Hundreds TV. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m., we are going to premiere the interview that we have with these guys. Andrew, who's sitting in front of me, you can't see him right off camera, is the one who interviewed them. So that's the first crack at the interview. That's tomorrow night. Get to know Bryce, Errol, Justin behind Blondie Beach Records. Wednesday, that's the dropping in with me. I'll just be sitting with them live as the product releases. We'll be talking through the collection, and then right afterwards, they're going to be a Night Terrors where, what game are you guys going to be playing?
Maybe a little COD.
Little COD?
Little COD.
Little COD. So we're going to do a little COD on Wednesday night, 10 p.m.
It's a good opportunity to get to know the real us, the real Blondie Beach.
Let's get to know the real guys.
But in all seriousness, Blondie Beach, Los Angeles-based record label and music collective, celebrating our Blondie Beach week with the Hundreds in collaboration. And again, thank you, Bobby, for extending the olive branch.
And his hat looks really good on this.
This hat looks really good on
It's
that
my
head.
favorite hat.
Look at that head.
You gotta
Look at that.
So yeah, this product and many more will be available this week.
You got a hat head.
See, where's this Bryce Waller charisma 24/7? You know,
I love it. Okay, cool. Blondie Beach Week. Thanks for watching today, office hours, and tune in next week. I'll be live again.
Hat head.
Hat it.